big news. Got some big news. I'll turn the music down. Give me a second. Let's see, how does the volume sound? I have a new microphone. Let me turn the music down. Can you hear me all right? Let me check. Good evening to you, sir. How you doing today? Evening to you, sir. Yeah, sounds a little. I have a new microphone. Does sound a little better, right? I know the last couple days. I know I muted myself once or twice, but I remember a couple people in the chat were saying you need to turn your volume up. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for joining us today. Yeah, I got this new mic, so it's wireless too. It's badass. Like I don't have to I have it connected to my computer right now, the wire. I have it connected right now, but I can go completely wireless. It's got this little dongle right here. So you can have studio quality audio to your PC or to your phone or to if you have like a DSLR camera, you know, the big YouTube channels. Don't even I use a phone for all my recording. Webcam, regular recording. But you know, they have like the old school digital cameras, the real big ones, that are like $3,000. Yeah, I'm not doing all that. But you can wirelessly have studio audio. It's really cool. It sounds good. Awesome. Cool. Very, very good. Thank you very much. Okay, so I guess we can go ahead and get into it. I was gonna see if I have anything to give away. Oh yeah, the nothing. Hang on. Where are they? I got the nothing earbuds. Hang on one second. I think they're right here. So I got the nothing earbuds. I got the Buds A right here. The phone was supposed to come. The phone was supposed to come today. Guess what? They pushed it back until tomorrow. The Nothing Phone 4A Pro has been in town at the FedEx warehouse for all weekend. Even on Saturday, it got to the in town FedEx warehouse on Saturday, and I was like, sweet, I'll probably get the phone Monday, right? It'll go out for delivery on Monday. No, delivery Tuesday. Like what is going on? I paid for overnight shipping. What the hell is going on? So sucks, but it will be here tomorrow. Nothing Phone 4A Pro. I got Buds A. I also got the Nothing Ear 3. Their naming scheme is almost as confusing as Snapdragon's. Quite honestly, it's really confusing. So these are like normally $100. These are on sale on Amazon for like $50. These are a complete steal. Steal on Amazon. And then if you order a phone on Nothing's website, they give you a $100 voucher for whatever you want, or $100 off coupon code. So when I purchased the Nothing Phone 4A Pro, I used that coupon code for the more expensive earbuds, and got those coming too. Now, unfortunately, it sucks because they don't send you, they only send you the promo code, the $100 promo code, when the phone ships. So the buds aren't going to ship with the phone, they're going to come separately. So the buds probably aren't going to be here till later this week. So I was like, let me just jump on Amazon, spend $50 and get the cheap ones. And maybe when the more expensive one comes in later this week, I'll either return. I'm going to do a review on these tomorrow, but I was waiting to open it until I got the nothing phone. So sucks, but whatever. It is what it is. Okay. Let's go ahead and jump into the news of the day. I hope everybody's having a good evening. I hope everybody had a great day. Mondays kind of suck, right? I thought my Monday was going to be great. I thought I was going to get a new phone today, and turns out have to wait. So yeah, no big deal. It is March 30th, 2026. So we did get a new phone today, all of us. We just, may not come to our mailbox or to our front door. But just as I was talking about last week about the upcoming Pixels, right? Because it seems like this was on purpose. It seems like whenever a new phone comes out, well, it doesn't seem, this is what happens. Whenever a new phone comes out, and what new phone was just released? The S26 Ultra. When a new phone comes out, you'll see other companies kind of promote their own phones, their upcoming phones, to try to entice people to not buy the current phone that's being released, and hold out and wait. Because trust me, there's a lot. Google knows there's a lot of people that did not upgrade to the S26 Ultra, although they broke sales records. Let's face it, there are a number of our viewers said, no, I'm gonna hold out. I'm gonna sit like Bradley. I don't think he's here today, but Bradley, who's always here, he's got a S24 Ultra. He's gonna hold out, right? Probably till the S27, whatever, or S28. But Google knows this. Google knows there's a number of users, especially that had the S25 Ultra. Nah, I'm gonna hold out. I'm gonna wait. I'm cool. And actually, if I didn't have my YouTube channel, I probably would hang on to my S25 Ultra. But well, I would fit in those shoes, right? That hat would fit me, right? So Google knows this, and their marketing team, look, they're pretty clever. They leak their upcoming phones just to get attention to those people that held out, that did not get the S26 Ultra, because they see the leak of the new Pixel 11 that came out today, and they're like, damn, yeah, that's right, Google Pixel is coming out here in a few months. I think I'm gonna wait until that. They all do this little marketing scheme. Google, Apple, Samsung does it. Nothing was very clever with how they did their foray, even though it fell pretty freaking close to the S26 Ultra. Nothing knows this, right? Everybody knows this, and they've been using these tactics for years now. Years. And let me show you what the Pixel 11 looks like. You might have seen it, and it's no huge surprise. It's not jaw-dropping, but they did refine it, in my opinion, to make it look even better. And look, I didn't plan this out. I know this happens every now and then, right? I got a lot of tech shirts and stuff, but I have my Google Pixel shirt on today. I swear to God, I threw it on this morning, and I had no clue the leaks were coming out. Look, I am Team Pixel. So, just coincidence. So it does look better. Let me load this video and some images comparing. Well, I have them loaded. Let me add them to the display. And I have a image comparing the new Pixel 11 to the current Pixel 10. And let me see if you can spot what has changed. Is there any difference? I can see it. And they've, in my opinion, They added upon. I think the Google Pixel is probably the best looking smartphone out right now. And it might be up there in the top 3 with best looking ever. I know it's personal opinion. I know some are like, it's all right, but I love it. And that's probably the reason why I criticize them so much, because I think they have something. They have a smartphone that could be like one of the best smartphone lines in the history of smartphones, in the young history, right? We're relatively young in smartphone world. We've only had real smartphones for like 10 years, right? What are we going to be at? What is it going to be like in 50 years? 50 years when I'm 90 years old? Are we going to say, geez, man, that Pixel 11, wow, what a classic device, right? They could have. They sure nailed it on the looks, and we're going to talk about specs. Let me shut up and load this so we can all take a look. So here's the Pixel 11. It's in white. I have a blue color too. There we go. Now, can you spot the difference? Can you spot the difference? Pretty freaking nice. Beautiful looking phone. Now, this is the Pixel 10. Jesus Christ. It looks like a Pixel 10. This is the Pixel 11, the base model. Now, we know the Pixel 11 Pro, Pixel 11 Pro XL, they're going to look identical, right? I mean, the Pixel 11, Pixel 11 Pro, now they added a third camera on the base model. Essentially, the dimensions are the same. And then with the XL, you'll get the same looking phone, just bigger. And I think the only difference between the Pro and the Pro XL obviously is battery and charging speeds. So the Pro XL, I believe, charges at 45 watts, and the base Pro, just the smaller Pro, I think they charge at 30 watts, which, come on, like, bump it up. Really, would you? It's kind of embarrassing. But yes, so you are exactly correct. The lenses is what has changed. And I know you're thinking, well, what are you talking about? It looks the same to me. Well, let me throw up this picture, and maybe it'll give you a little better idea of what has changed. So the Pixel 10 series is on the left. It's the white one. Right. Everything's backwards. Right here. Well, if you're on vertical, you can't really see what I'm doing. But if you're on horizontal, you can see I'm pointing. That's the Pixel 10 series. And then I won't go up there. Anyways, the blue one on the right is the new Pixel 11. Now, look where the camera island is. On the Pixel 10, it has the little half moon right there where the laser autofocus is, and the flashlight on the left side, on the left one, it has that little half moon there. And then the Pixel 11, that's in blue, that's on the right. Look at that camera island. It's complete glass. Now, I think that's great. I think it looks even better. Now that they did this with the Pixel 11, I'm looking at the Pixel 10 like, ugh. As soon as every time I've seen throughout the day, I've seen, of course, we have Pixel 10s here. Every time I look at the Pixel, I'm like, oh, all I see is that half moon now. I'm like, damn, why didn't they do this in the first place? Well, they do that on purpose, I think, to change something slightly, but don't really have a complete change. But I think it looks, just removing that little half moon there on the camera island makes a world of a difference. I think it looks beautiful on the right, the Pixel 11 series. Now, last week we were talking about this upcoming Pixel 11 series, and I was saying the only real thing they can do with changing the design is, and I didn't even talk about the half moon. It didn't even cross my mind, right? But I was saying maybe reduce the camera bar just slightly, because if you turn the phone, if you turn the phone, if you have your Pixel 11 and you turn it this way, that camera island right here comes up off the back of the phone a lot. I mean, it's a huge camera bar. It's nice because you can kind of hold, you can rest your hand up and use it. I mean, it doesn't bother me really. In fact, I love it because the phone doesn't wobble. I was texting with this before I went live, and if you use the S26 Ultra with no case, the wobble is insane. There is no wobble with Pixel. Well, let's get into where they can go from here. We're going to get into specs, but getting it back to the design. Google did mention when this first came out, so they went to this with the Pixel 9 series, Pixel 10, and now Pixel 11. That's 3 years in a row that the phone will look kind of the same. Google mentioned, I looked it up, what's his name, the CEO, or not the CEO, the who's in charge of the Pixel division from Google, like that's his job, is just he manages the entire Pixel brand and Pixel division from Google. He was quoted as saying at the release of the Pixel 9 series that you will see a design change from Pixel every 2 to 3 years. So this is on the 3rd year, and you see very, very slight variations from the Pixel 9 to the Pixel 10, and now from the Pixel 10 to the Pixel 11. You see the very slight changes, and that's technically a design change, but he meant in that quote, he meant complete design change. And I guess a complete design change, if you're a Pixel user, or even if you're not, but from the Pixel, they really went to this design with the Pixel 6, and then Pixel 7 a little more refined, and then Pixel 8 even more refined with that strip of that camera bar, and then they went to the island where the both sides do not connect. And I love this design. I think it's classic. I think it's the best looking smartphone. You've seen some companies kind of copy this, kind of not, but it's beautiful. I love it. And I mentioned the design change in every 2 to 3 years because this is the 3rd year with this design. So I know we don't like to move ahead too far, but going into this time next year, rolling into the Pixel 12, are we going to see a complete redesign, meaning like something that just looks totally different? Maybe. I mean, going by what he said 2 to 3 years, and this is the 3rd year. So we'll revisit this a year from now. But beautiful looking device. Cannot wait. But let's get into the specs, and then I'll get into my gripes. I'm kind of jumping all over the place. Yeah. But let's get into the specs. What's going on, man? Nothing phone update. I did not get it today. The bastards. Not nothing. FedEx. It's been at the FedEx warehouse all weekend, and I thought I was getting it today. And now it says delivery scheduled for tomorrow, Tuesday. Anyways. Let's get into specs. So I was going to load a graphic of the expected specifications of this device. And then I thought, why am I doing that? I'm just wasting my time. So the specs look like they're going to be exactly the same. So you're going to get, on the base model, I'm just talking about the Pixel 11, which leaked, you're going to get 12 gigs of RAM. On the base model, they're still going to do 128. Stupid. On the Pro and the Pro XL, Pixel 11 Pro, Pixel 11 Pro XL, they're going to do a base 256, and then they're going to get 16 gigs of RAM like previous models. You're going to get the Tensor G6, not much to brag about, CPU. And here's a kind of a downer, but kind of a we'll see where this goes. I got I'm not going to say confirmation, but yesterday I mentioned when I did my CPU comparison between the Samsung Exynos 2600 and the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, the topic of GPU came up, and I was mentioning the fact that Google might implement a new GPU that's designed by Samsung, because the CPU, the Exynos 2600 that's in the base S26 and S26 Plus, it can ramp up, it can score some really good points on these benchmark tests, but it looks like it still overheats. It looks like it still gets hot, and then the CPU ramps down, right, for because of thermal throttling. But the GPU scored fantastic. And there was talks that Google might implement a Samsung GPU into the Pixel 11. Ironically, we were talking about that yesterday. Well, it looks like today we got word. Now, it's not confirmed, it's not signed, sealed, and delivered, but it looks like this is the route they're going. They're going to do the same Power VR GPU, the Immortals Power VR GPU. Now, it's not going to be the same model. From what I understand, little inside information, nothing groundbreaking or anything, but they're not happy with the GPU. They're not happy with the performance. They got started on the right off the bat. They got off to on the wrong foot with the GPU, because do you remember right when this Pixel 10 launched with the Power VR series from Immortals, the GPU, it didn't even have the right drivers right off of the bat, and it took them like 3 months to update the drivers. Even after all these months and all these updates, it's still not where it should be. Now, did it improve? Yes, but not drastically, right? Well, apparently some people at Team Pixel, they're not happy, but they really don't have any options. Like a lot of these things, they can't. Sometimes some companies can jump year to year, do this, do that, but a lot of these companies sign contracts with nothing. That they signed a 3-year deal with Snapdragon, where Snapdragon provides them with CPUs for 3 releases, 3 launches of devices. And I think Google signed either they signed a multi-year deal with Immortals GPU, the Power VR GPU, or they just don't have any options. That can be another issue, where they just, I mean, maybe they do have another option. Maybe they could go with a Samsung Mali GPU, but maybe the price is almost twice as expensive. You know what I'm saying? Like, that might not fit into the equation. So they're going to go with another Immortals Power VR GPU. However, it's going to be a new model, a new generation, a new platform from Immortals Power VR GPU series. You see what I'm saying? So we'll have to wait and see where this goes. Look, I don't have much faith in. It kind of is what it is at this point with Google and the Pixels, and that's why maybe I criticize them a little too much. But I expect perfection, and I know no smartphone is perfect, but it's these little things that really frustrate me and get me upset. Because how is it Google has these issues with their Pixel and Samsung doesn't have a problem, Apple doesn't have a problem? And I know it's a little more difficult than that, because their GPUs are kind of integrated with their CPUs, and it's probably where the issue sprouts from, honestly, is the CPU. But they're not changing the CPU, right? We're not getting a MediaTek CPU in the Pixel 11. We're not getting a Snapdragon CPU in the Pixel 11 or the Pixel 12. It's just not happening. So that's what I'm saying. They kind of hamstrung. They're kind of box themselves in a corner where, man, I have any other options. So they went back to Immortals and said, look, we got to get this right, because Pixel 10, that's kind of embarrassing. So, but basically all the other specs are going to be the same. You're going to get the same display, same resolution, the same dimensions, the same width, the same height, basically the same weight. I wish they would improve upon the charging speeds a little bit, right? I think the 30 watts is okay. Well, it's not okay, but I think what they should do is do 30-watt charging on the base Pixel 11, 45 watts on the Pixel 11 Pro, and then like 50 or 60 watts on the XL, Pixel 11 Pro XL. Because right now, as we sit, I think it's 30 watts, or is it 25 or 30 watts? I think it's 30 watts for the Pixel 10 and Pixel 10 Pro, and then 45 watts for the Pixel 10 Pro XL. The Pixel 10 Pro XL charges much faster than the smaller Pixel 10 Pro. And at this point, it's embarrassing. You pay $1,000 for a phone and it takes an hour and a half to charge. Here's my other complaint: is the 200 charging cycle limit. I've been a strong critic of Google in them implementing this into the operating system. I think it should be an option. They do not make it an option. They implement it into the operating system where you don't have a choice. After 200 charging cycles, your battery capacity gets capped at 80%, meaning you can't charge it past 80%, and your charging speeds are reduced by half. They cut your charging speeds in half. So, in my opinion, that needs to be an option, but they said from here on out, moving forward, that they're going to be implementing that. So it really sucks for Team Pixel people like myself that Google is essentially forcing me to either buy a new phone buy another Pixel after 6 months, because 200 charging cycles, roughly one cycle per day, 200 days comes out right around 6 months, maybe 5.5 months. What am I going to do when I have 200 charging cycles? Well, I'm not going to keep the phone. I'm not going to use a phone when I take 2 hours to charge. You kidding me? I'm going to sell it and either get a new one or just get rid of it and be without a Pixel for 6 months. So the only real upgrade that you will see with these Pixel 11 series is the modem. So Carlos is correct. They are getting a MediaTek M90 modem that's going to replace the Exynos 5400 modem. Now, I'm excited about this. This does have me excited. Not that the Pixel 10 with the Exynos modem was bad, because I've made videos on it. It's actually pretty good, but is it as good as Snapdragon modems? No. The Wi-Fi performance is just as good as Snapdragon modems. Wi-Fi performance, it's neck and neck. But when you step outside, that when it drops off maybe 10% compared to the Snapdragon. So it's not quite there with the Exynos 5400 modem that's currently in the Pixel 10. I think this MediaTek M90 modem is a good move. It is a very good move. And again, love MediaTek, love their company, love their products. I think they put out fantastic technology. And boy, I just wish they would switch to MediaTek CPUs one day, right? Maybe, like I said earlier, maybe 50 years from now, Google will put MediaTek CPUs in their Pixel. What would that be? Pixel, in 50 years, it would be Pixel 61. Wow, that sounds crazy. Let's see. Pixel, oh, wait. I was going to look up MediaTek M90 modem. Excuse me. Let's see what we got here. Let me share my screen. Maybe we can dive into this, and then we're going to get into the final topic of the day. Where are we at? About 30 minutes. Probably get off in about 15 minutes. We're going to get into AirDrop, quick share, Galaxy devices. We're going to get into that, but let's look into this modem real quick. I want to see what we got here. Come on. Lord have mercy. StreamYard's been really janky lately. Okay. Quick Google search, right? M90s and next generation AI powered. So this is not some rinky dink 5G modem from 2 years ago, right? Like, this looks to be top of the line, futuristic, advanced 5G modem. This was launched at Mobile World Congress mid last year. It enables 12 gigs peak download speeds. 3GPP release. Yes, 17 and 18 compliant. The modem you are describing is the Qualcomm Snapdragon X85G modem RF system, which they... What the hell is going on? Crazy. So, get this. Now that I know that, that's what the Exynos 5400 modem did not offer. When you see right here, 18, that is the standalone Series 18. That's the standalone 5G network compatibility from T-Mobile that the Exynos 5400 does not get. You know how all these Snapdragon CPUs now, and even Apple, the latest Apple modem from the iPhone 17 series, they get the latest T-Mobile 5G network, but the Pixel 10 did not, because the Exynos 5400 modem that's currently in the Pixel 10 series does not get T-Mobile's standalone 5G network. It only gets up to Series 17 release. This new MediaTek modem has Series 18 release. That's the standard you need to get T-Mobile's new 5G network. So yes, good news if you're a Pixel lover and you have T-Mobile, quite frankly. It features MediaTek modem AI 2.0 for improved efficiency and supports 5G, dual SIM, dual active. That is sweet. Let's see here. I'm going to have to cut this show. I'm going to have to get to the Galaxy stuff tomorrow because I got to run. My daughter needs my help here, but I've been on for how long? About 30 minutes. Yeah, it'll be a Pixel day. We'll do the news for the AirDrop, Quick Share, Galaxy devices tomorrow. Screw it. Let me jump into it real quick. So, I don't even have this ready. So, check this out. These Samsung Galaxy phones are set to add AirDrop, although you're not going to be able to sideload it. Duh. I didn't know you could even sideload AirDrop. AirDrop compatibility was just enabled on the latest S26 series devices, right? S26 Ultra, S26 Plus, S26. But it had us wondering, well, when are they gonna enable AirDrop compatibility to older Galaxy devices, right? Because Pixel's doing the same thing. Going back to Pixel, it's just available on the Pixel 10 series, just the very latest. I hate it when they do this. Look, I get it. They have to put it on their latest and greatest to try to get people to buy it. I get that. But you would think give it to everybody else after a month or so. Like Pixel's been out for like 8 months and it's still only Pixel 10 and that's it. Like they haven't even enabled it for the Pixel. You know, I think after the way I would do it is when you release the S26 Ultra, I would do it just for the S26 series for like the first month. You know, to try to get as many, you know, people that really want that feature to buy as possible. And then a month after that, or, you know, month, 6 weeks, whatever, then release it to the S24. And then a month the S25 series. And then a month after that, release it to the S24 series. And a month after that, release it to the S23 series. Then 22. See what I'm saying? After 3 or 4 months, you'll have a vast majority of Galaxy users that'll have AirDrop compatibility. It is cool, especially if you have if you use a S26 Ultra, you use Android, and your wife or your girlfriend uses an iPhone, right? This is a big deal. Or vice versa, or your mom and dad use an iPhone but you use Android. You see what I'm saying? It's a big deal. Look, we don't ever think of it too often because we've been without this compatibility essentially for the life of Android and the life of iPhone. So it's just a foregone conclusion that that connection, that file sharing is just not possible, right? But when it is possible, you're like, oh, well, that's cool. It opens up a lot of doors. You don't have to jump through hoops. Oh, download this app or download that app, or I like this one, but they force you to buy ad free or subscription or pay for this. Pay. No, we don't want that. Give us apps that work. And this is one of them. So let's see when they're going to come out. So, yes. We know all of this already. Give us a time frame here. We were also able to get this working on a Galaxy Z Fold 7 by sideloading the Quick Share extension. Whoa. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to look into this. I'm going to figure out how to sideload this. And then tomorrow, I'll let you know how to sideload it. But in the title, it said, but you won't be able to sideload it. So I don't know what the hell they're talking about. You probably can't sideload it early, though. Well, what do you mean? This article says they just did it on a Galaxy Z Fold 7. So according to Galaxy Club, Samsung's Share with Apple Devices menu item appears on. So here's the devices that are getting it: S25 series, S24 series, S23 series, S22 series, Z Fold 7, A56, A36, and A55. But when are they getting it? It says it's very clear that Samsung plans to eventually roll this function out broadly. AirDrop isn't actually working it, at least as far as we can tell. So then why did they sideload it? I guess to test it. On the other two devices, we got this quote-unquote sharing with Apple devices menu. Interesting. So it looks like it doesn't work right now, but good news is that it looks like they're working on getting compatibility. You see what I'm saying? So let me dive into this and look at a few other online publications to see what they say. And if it's possible, tomorrow, I'll definitely let you know if it's possible and walk you through how to do it so you can add this feature onto your Galaxy device. You're still going to get the Pro XL? Yeah, I am too. I'm such a sucker. I love Pixel so much. Even though like I criticize them a lot, but again, it's in a good way. It's like when you have a kid, right? It's like I hate criticizing them, but like you want them to do better, right? Like they have so much potential, and you see them always coming up short. I'm like, damn it, Pixel. But I'm still gonna get one. I'm still gonna get one. I love Pixel, so I gotta run, guys. Daughter needs help, so speaking of kids, right? Can't push her off can't ignore her for too much longer. I gotta run. I do appreciate the time. I'll look into this and a couple other things for tomorrow's live stream and inform you. Just stay tuned, right? Don't flash anything. Let me be the guinea pig. I'll figure out if it's worth it or not, or even if it's possible or on one device, but you can't on the others. I'll figure it out. But I do appreciate the time, and I will see you tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow we'll do a giveaway too. I got a lot of stuff to give away. I need to get rid of these cases. So tomorrow, oh yeah, I'll have the Nothing Phone 4a Pro too. Tomorrow. Anyways, I need to get out of here. Tomorrow, I'm going to give some cases away. So just be ready for giveaways tomorrow. So appreciate it. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out. Have a good evening. Please be safe. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.